Hare Krishna, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna,
all glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna,
all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.
all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaye Namaste Saraswati Devadurvani Krishani Vishnu Shurvani Prastheni.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnas Purnamudachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamivavasishate. Translation. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because He is completely perfect, all emanations from Him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as a complete whole. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete by itself. And because He is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from Him, He remains the complete balance. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The complete whole, or the Supreme Absolute Truth, is the complete personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman forms an incomplete realization of the Absolute Complete. And so also does the conception of Paramatman, the Supersoul. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Impersonal Brahman realization is the realization of his Sat, or eternity aspect. And Paramatman, Supersoul realization, is the realization of his Sat and Chit, eternity and knowledge aspects. But realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all the transcendental features, Sat, Chit and Ananda, or bliss. In a personal concept, this is realized in complete form, Vigraha. And so the complete whole is not formless. If he is formless, or if he is less than his creation in any other thing, he cannot be complete. The complete whole must have everything, both within our experience and beyond our experience. Otherwise, he cannot be complete. The complete whole personality of Godhead has immense potencies, and all of them are as complete as He is. Therefore, this phenomenal or material world is also complete by itself. The 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation are completely adjusted to produce complete things necessary for the maintenance and sustenance of this universe. No extraneous effort by any other unit is required for this maintenance. The universe has its own time, fixed by the energy of the complete whole, and when that time is complete, this temporary manifestation will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. There is complete facility for the small complete units, namely the living beings, to realize the complete, and all forms of incompleteness are experienced only on account of incomplete knowledge of the complete. The human form of life is a complete manifestation of the consciousness of the living being, which is obtained after evolving through 8,400,000 species of life in the cycle of birth and death. If a human being does not realize his completeness within the complete in this life of full consciousness, he loses the chance of realizing his completeness and is put again into the cycle of evolution by the law of material nature. Because we do not know that there is a complete arrangement in nature for our maintenance, we make efforts to utilize the resources of nature to create a so-called complete life of sense enjoyment. This misleading life of sense enjoyment is called illusion, because the living entity cannot enjoy the life of the senses without being dovetailed with the complete whole. For example, the hand of a body is a complete unit as long as it is attached to the complete body. When the hand is detached from the body, it may appear like a hand, but actually it has none of the potency of a hand. Similarly, the living beings are parts and parcels of the complete whole, and as long as the parts and parcels are detached from the complete whole, the illusory representation of completeness is not enough to bring the desired result. The completeness of human life can only be realized when the human form of life is engaged in the service of the complete whole. Any service in this world, whether social, political, communal, international, or even interplanetary, will remain incomplete unless and until it is dovetailed with a complete whole. And when everything is dovetailed with a complete whole, the attached parts and parcels also become complete in themselves. I offer my humble obeisances unto my spiritual master, who has very kindly opened my darkened eyes to the torchlight of knowledge. So, this is the clear definition of Godhead. People speak of God, they worship God. There's so many churches and mosques and temples and so on. And people, they try to understand and love God and so on. But if you ask, who is God? They cannot answer. See? What is the nature of God? How is God different from me, the conditioned living entity? That is a very important subject matter. Because if I cannot distinguish between me and God, there's no question of service, there's no question of relationship, there's no question of love. Love can only be between two beings, two personalities, two individualities. Love cannot exist on its own accord. That is a mental concoction. That is illusion. That doesn't exist. When we speak of love, it's not just sentimentalism. It is practical. Love is proven by service. If there's no service, there's no love. So love must manifest in service. Similarly, love of Godhead, our eternal relationship with Godhead, must be manifested by practical service. This is called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means the devotional service to the Supreme Lord. But in order to render service to the Supreme Lord, we have to understand who the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, who He is. If I want to serve, let's say I want to serve a woman. I get married and I want to serve my wife. So first of all, I have to inquire. What do you like? What would you like? What kind of present should I bring you? All of this confidential information, I have to understand. Sometimes the husband, the wife, doesn't want to say what she likes. She likes to be surprised, right? The notion of surprise is very pleasing to us. If someone surprises me, then it is very pleasurable. Instead of receiving something that I asked for, that is very nice, but if someone gives me something that I didn't ask for, but that person, he actually understood what I would like, that is very nice. Very pleasurable, it's very exciting. So similarly, the true devotee of the Lord, he understands the nature of the Lord, he understands what type of service the Lord requires. So this transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord is explained here. Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnat Udachite Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vasishate. The Supreme Lord Krishna, He expands from the pores of His body so many universes are coming. Millions, unlimited. This universe, the materialistic scientists are very much popped up. They think, oh, now we understand the universe. We went to the moon, we brought some dust, right? So now we can claim that we've conquered the universe. But this universe, Vasudeva Datta, a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya, he asked Lord Chaitanya, he said, my Lord, please kindly deliver all the conditioned souls. Kindly deliver all. You can do this. Please kindly deliver them all. They're all. And if you think there are loads of karma, loads of simple reactions, because this life is a life of responsibility, and a human form of life whatever we do has a reaction. It is not that everything is going on by accident. It is not by accident that there is some distress. Some distress comes and we don't know where it came from. Right? So this is not an accident. This is the law of karma. So Vasudevadatta, he asked, you transfer all the karma of all the living entities in this universe unto me. This is a Vaishnava, this is a devotee. Paradukaduki. Just like our Srila Prabhupada. He didn't think about his own personal benefit. But he came in the advanced age, because his age is completely transcendental. It's a pastime. A pure devotee doesn't age. He doesn't age. To us it might appear that he ages, but actually he's fully realized he's in an eternal position. We don't change either. We don't change. We don't age. We're eternal. Hanimati Hanimani Sharire, Krishna says. The soul is never killed. So Srila Prabhupada has come to the United States of America at the advanced age of 70 years old. And he underwent the great austerities to establish this Krishna consciousness movement. There's so many enemies came. Even his own disciples became inimical towards Srila Prabhupada. But he didn't care. He sacrificed everything to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. So Vasudevadatta, he asked you kindly, my Lord, you transfer all the karma of all living entities unto me. I will suffer in hell. For countless and countless of lifetimes I will suffer. It's okay. But let these people be delivered. Go back home, back to Godhead. So Lord Chaitanya, he said, well, even if I delivered all the living entities in this universe is just like a mustard seed and a bag of mustard seeds. It doesn't mean anything, you see. So the modern scientists, the frogs in a well, they think that now we have discovered a little something on the moon, so now we know everything. Now we're gods, right? So it says not like that. These innumerable universes are coming from Krishna's body, and they are complete. See, Krishna, he enters into each universe as Garbhodakasha Vishnu, and then further, he enters every single atom in that universe. Just like we see here, there's so many atoms in this room. So Krishna is in every atom present as the Paramatma. See, Krishna, he's conscious. I am also conscious, right? I'm conscious of my body. I'm conscious of pains and pleasures. Someone inflicts pain, pleasure on my body, I feel it. Just like a little baby, you know, she feels a little pain or a little pleasure, like that. So she's expressing. So this is the symptom of consciousness. But there is a difference between our consciousness and the consciousness of Krishna. I am aware of the pains and pleasures of my body, but Krishna is aware of the pains and pleasures of all the living entities. Complete. No one is exempt from the Lord's presence. So he's conscious of every single thing, every single detail in creation. Just imagine what kind of brain Krishna has. He's conscious of every single detail. Right? He's conscious of you. He's conscious of your friends. He's conscious of every single cell in your body. He's conscious of the air we're breathing. He's conscious. You cannot hide from Krishna. We cannot hide from Krishna. This is the intelligence. Why should I hide from Krishna? Why should I lie to Krishna? I should come and surrender. Surrender. What is the use of hiding from Krishna? What is the use of that? He can see. He's actually aware of every psychological movement in our mind. Krishna understands. Krishna can see. If you're insincere, if you're making a show of devotional service, he's aware. Krishna, you cannot fool Krishna. Krishna is not interested in show. And if you're sincere, but no one is recognizing your devotion. It doesn't matter. Because Krishna still, He's in your heart. He appreciates. Right? So we're not doing this for anyone else except Krishna and our true self, this devotion of service. So, in every single atom, Krishna is present as the Paramatma. And therefore, He's supreme controller. He's moving the atoms. He's moving the planets. He's moving the atoms. Everything. We're thinking, I'm moving everything. I am in charge of this and that. But I'm not even in charge of my own body. Right? The digestion. How is it going on? We had a discussion the other day. There was a young gentleman. He stayed with us for a few days. And we had a discussion. He was asking about God, some discussion. And we got to a point where we discussed that God actually is taking care of everything. This material nature is like a big machine, yantra. Yantra rudani maya. Krishna says, I direct the wanderings of all living entities who are positioned in the body, the machine. And according to their desire, I direct them. So this whole creation is like a big machine. How come there is no controller? Right? The atheists, they say there is no controller. Is that a very sane proposal? A machine, let's say a car. If I say the car is driving, because we can see the system, the machine, the material nature is working. My digestion is working, my bloodstream is working, so many things are working. It is going on as a system. If I say a car, a machine, is working, but there is no driver, is it a very sane proposal? It is a ludicrous proposal. It doesn't make any sense. So this Krishna consciousness philosophy is the true science. The true science. Not a manufactured science of a mental speculator. This is the science, the true science, because it is coming from Krishna. This knowledge is not manufactured. Srila Prabhupada said many times, people say, I've done wonderful. Converting 10,000 militias, 10,000 Westerners, very much addicted to sinful life, converting them into pure Vaishnavas. Who has done this? Who has done this? Who of these gurus coming from India, who has done this? They're simply talking some mental jugglery, some mayavad, some impersonalism, some misinterpretation of the Vedic knowledge. But not a single person was able to create a devotee of Krishna. That is the goal of the Bhagavad Gita. That is the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. Why are you speaking of the Bhagavad Gita? If you are against the supremacy of Krishna, then you should be silent. Prabhupada says, you better be silent. Like they have the Monavrata. Right? Does anyone know what is Monavrata? Silent, that's right. You make a vow that, I'm going to be silent. So our Prabhupada says, yes, that is very good for you, a rascal. Because whatever you speak is simply poison. So better that you be silent, that you don't speak anything, any nonsense. Right? So the Vedic knowledge is complete. Just like the creation is complete. Everything is arranged already. We don't have to make factories and iPhones and iPods and this part and that part and this and that. There's no need. Everything is very nicely arranged by Krishna. You have the natural sweets. What is a natural sweet? A fruit. Fruit on a tree. No need to cook. No need to prepare. No need to spend any money. You just pick it up and you eat. Of course, we offer it to Krishna before.
Yeah.
But the arrangement is there. How come the fruit is growing if there is no God? How come? Vegetables, everything is very nicely arranged. If there is no God, why are these things here? But that foolish rascal, he doesn't question. He doesn't ask a simple question. Why is everything arranged for me already? It's ungrateful. Ungrateful. Simply taking the energy, exploiting the energy of the Lord, and giving nothing to Krishna. No service. rendered to Krishna. Right? So we have to come out of this mentality, this parasitical mentality. Right? Sometimes people say, oh, these devotees, what are they doing for the family, for the society, for the nationalism, for this and that. They're not doing any philanthropy, they don't feed the poor, they don't do anything. What are they doing? Simply chanting for some manufactured blue boy. What is this nonsense? Right? They're parasites. They're taking our money and they're having a good time. This is very bad. Right? It's the other way around. They're parasites. Because they're parasiting on the property of the Supreme Lord. Ishabhasyam sarvam idam sarvam. The Lord is the supreme proprietor. He's the proprietor of everything. This land, Canada. This is not a Canada. This name has been given just a few, hundreds of years ago. It was given. It didn't belong to anyone, right, in the beginning. Someone came and he said, okay, we're going to call this Canada. But did this land belong to you? No, it was Krishna's. It is still Krishna's. But you have an illusion that I am Canadian. I am Canadian. I'm very proud of my Canada and this and that. But will you be Canadian after you leave this body? No. Tatadehantara praptir. By the laws of material nature, prakati kriyamana nigunai karmani sarva. You'll be pushed into a body not according to your choice, but as a result of your activities in this life, you will take the body accordingly. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajatyanti kalaivaram tam tam eva iti kuntiya sadat bhava bhavitaha. Bhava, nature, whatever transcendental thought you have, or not transcendental, that body you shall get in your next life. Right. So the Vedic knowledge is complete. Everything is here. In this shloka, everything is explained. Whatever we need is here. We simply have to become sincere. Our eyes are covered by the ignorance. Tasmat guru prapadyeta jigyasusya uttamam. That's why we should approach the spiritual master. Not to ask for benediction, not to improve our material life, not to improve our health, not to improve our sex life, or this or that. That is already done. You know, we have so many doctors, so many people who will give you these things. There's no need. When we approach the spiritual master, we should approach him with the humble attitude to remove the ignorance from our eyes. Ignorance. Krishna, actually, we're listening to a conversation with our spiritual master. Krishna is actually everywhere. Everywhere. He's already here. He's everywhere. By his energy, personally, in his deity form, in his vibration, like we're chanting Hare Krishna. This is not an ordinary vibration. This is the Supreme Lord. There's no difference between the vibration and the Lord, Krishna. Right? But our senses are covered. Material senses. What is material senses? Material senses means I want to be the supreme enjoyer. I want to be the controller. I want to exploit this energy. And that's why Krishna gives you that Maya. Yes, my sir. Yes, you'll be an illusion that you are the controller. Birth after birth. Paunam janmanamanti. Jnanavam prapadyante. Until you become intelligent. Jnanavan. Vasudeva sarvamiti samatma sudurlabha. You understand that the Supreme Lord is the cause of all causes. There are many causes, right? Like for example, your boss, he's the cause of your salary. But he's not the supreme cause. He has taken that money from Krishna. So why not surrender to Krishna? Why not work for Krishna directly? Directly, that is intelligence. If you water the root, automatically all the branches and leaves are nourished. If you worship Krishna, all the demigods are worshipped. Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, everyone is praying to Krishna. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchitananda Vigraha, Anandiradi Govinda Sarvakaranakaranam. So this is the intelligence. The Vedic knowledge is complete and perfect. We simply have to open our eyes. So that is the duty of the spiritual master. He comes on the order of Krishna to open our eyes with total knowledge. And the spiritual master is also complete. His instruction doesn't need any addition, any helpers. We can help. We can explain the message of the spiritual master. But the spiritual master doesn't depend on us. Just like the seed. You have a seed. And from that seed, there's a potential of unlimited trees. Unlimited trees. Right? There's a tree growing, there's more seeds, and these seeds have more trees, and so on. So in that one seed, there are a unlimited number of trees. Imagine. This is the achinta potency of the Lord. So similarly, the spiritual master, his instruction is complete. Just like that seed, the tree grows, so many trees are growing. But the original tree is not diminished. Right? The original tree is still there. Father. The father gives seeds, to the womb of the mother. But the father is not diminished. And there's a son, there's a daughter, there are children, grandchildren, and so on and so on. But the father is still complete. Right? He doesn't die. He's not lacking anything. Right? So similarly, the spiritual master, he gives the seeds, devotional, a kripa, a bhakti lata bija. The bija he gives to everyone. Whoever is there, without any discrimination. Prabhupada is preaching to everyone through his transcripted books. Now Prabhupada is initiating the whole world. But we have to take the initiation. We have to accept. The spiritual master is throwing the rope. Come back home, back to Godhead. But if we do not grab the rope, that is not the spiritual master's fault. That is our fault. That is our fault. Right? So, Sri Prabhupada has given all these transcendental books. And he says, these books will do everything. Everything. If you read these books, you can become initiated, you can become a preacher, you can become a guru, you can become a pure devotee.
A
pure devotee. This is the potency of the Mahabhagavata. A pure devotee of the Lord. He is complete. Om punamidam punamidam puna shati. And quite the opposite, a bogus rascal, he always depends on something else. He's incomplete in his knowledge. Right? So that's how we distinguish. The spiritual master doesn't depend on any material circumstance, any material facilities. He is fully surrendered to Krishna, and that's why he's fully independent. And similarly, a genuine disciple of the spiritual master is also fully independent. He's independent from the clutches of material energy. And he's fully dependent on the spiritual master and the Supreme Lord. That is the real freedom. Are there any questions?
So how do we serve the spiritual master in order to, do we accept him just like that, or there is some service involved, or how do we serve spiritual master?
Yeah, well, the first we have to hear Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, like that. There are 9 different kinds of devotional service. So it begins with the hearing. Just like we get together, we hear. This is the spiritual master. It's not a book. Rascals and fools, they can say this is a book. This is not a book. This is a living Bhagavatam, living pure devotee. We have to hear. We're not actually serving the spiritual master. The spiritual master acts on behalf of the Supreme Lord. Right? He doesn't need our service. He's simply trying to engage us on behalf of Krishna. Right? It's very simple. We have to hear, and we have to follow the instructions. If we hear, then we should also follow the instructions. Service. Just like Sri Prabhupada, he says, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and so on and so on. We are his servants, and so on and so on. And he also gives a practical engagement. You go and preach this message of Bhagavad Gita. Like that. So if the spiritual master says, go and preach this message of the Bhagavad Gita, and I do not do that, I simply hear and hear, but there is no service, then the hearing is not bona fide. And if I tell you, please, can you bring me a glass of water? And you say, yes, yes, and you stay sitting, and you're not hearing me properly. There's something wrong with the hearing process. So now we have to rectify it. One who is not inquisitive, one who doesn't care what's going to happen after death, who he is, who is the Supreme Lord, he has no business with the spiritual master. This is simply a waste of time. So he has to be, first of all, jigyasu, inquisitive. And then the spiritual master will tell him, okay, you're a spirit soul, now you're acting on the bodily platform, you're trying to gratify your senses, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. This is, even in the animals they can do that. Eating, sleeping, fighting. The animals, they can do that also. Right? So we're a spirit soul, we're not animals, we're actually, spiritual entities, so we should engage in spiritual activities. It's not an optional recreation or this and that. It's absolutely necessary. If I do not act in my spiritual consciousness, if I don't act on the spiritual platform, engage in spiritual activity, then I will never understand my eternal nature. And then if I don't understand my eternal nature, then my whole life is wasted. That's the only purpose of this human form of life, to understand the eternal nature. So these activities, chanting, hearing, avoiding sinful activities, is very important. These will bring us to our eternal consciousness, our eternal platform. So why not take advantage?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Right? You have to engage in eternal activity. Right now, everything we do is temporary, for the temporary activity. Yes, we have the body. We have to take care of the body. We don't say that neglect the body. But if I forget the soul, what is the use maintaining the body? The body you have to leave. There will be a time when we'll have to say bye-bye. This very body we'll have to give up. Not just the property, the relationships, the family, and this very body we'll have to give up. Right? So if I have not practiced any spiritual consciousness throughout my life, my whole life wasted. All life wasted. You take, Prabhupada says, make a best use of a bad bargain. We have the material body. It's a suffering. It's a misery. This body is full of misery. So just, minimize your material activities. Minimize your eating, your sleeping, your mating, your defending, like that. And save time for spiritual cultivation. Save time. And you have kindly come. How difficult it is for the people. We're inviting every day. When we go out on the street, please come. Try to understand your eternal nature. I have no time, sorry, I'm busy. You're busy with what? Maintaining body which will be finished very soon. How illusion. Right? So, if you come, here, this is very, very beneficial. Very beneficial. You will remember, at the time of death, they say like this, that your whole life is projected to you, from the very beginning to the very end, like a movie, fast forward movie. So you remember at the time of death, this was the real thing. I was inquiring about my eternal nature. And they will think of your material activities. Oh, I wasted so much time. Why was lamenting? People are lamenting over bodily misery, material miseries. They're lamenting. Oh, I couldn't get money. I couldn't get and they're taxing their brain. Oh, so much time wasted. Right? So a devotee is nasochati nakamchati. No lamenting, no hankering. That is, we can come to that platform. Imagine, no hankering, no problems, no anxiety anymore. No lamenting. And no hankering. Oh, this person here, I want like that also. Oh, I want that. No hankering. Fully satisfied. Atmanandi. He is deriving bliss from the Atma, from the soul. Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnu Kadesha Mata Bhaktivedanta Swami Kinamini Namaste Sarasvati Deva Gauravani Prashani Nirushi Pastanvani Pasukhyad Shikrajani.
Shri Panchatattva ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Haribol.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnu Kadesha Mata Bhaktivedanta Swami Kinamini Namaste Sarasvati Deva Gauravani Prashani Nirushi Pastanvani Pasukhyad.
Prasada!